These are my real life stories of the impossible. I'm Alain Nu, the man who knows. And on Sundays, I always like to offer something for people to contemplate, a little bit of inspiration, a wisdom, if you will. And being that we've been talking for the past couple of weeks about Japanese mythology and folklore, how about if I kind of stay on that country's subject and we'll talk about a real life person who actually existed back in the 1600s, and he was a warrior, an expert swordsman known as Miyamoto Musashi. Also turned into a philosopher. What makes him most interesting is literally he could be the most famous person in all of history to be the old wise man who could be found in a cave at the top of a mountain. So, if you like the stories that I tell and the things that we talk about here on this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell right next to the subscribe button. That way I can continue to make videos just like this, just for you. So, Miyamoto Musashi was when he was a boy, he was raised by his father, who was an expert swordsman and martial artist, and was eventually killed by a local lord. But he was then raised by his uncle, who was a Shinto priest. So that's kind of interesting right there, right? Having a father who was a warrior, an uncle who was a priest, both of them raised you. But by the time he was a young teenager, like 13 years old, literally right into his teens, he took on his first he accepted his first duel with a fellow who was challenging people in order to practice his own martial arts, and managed to kill that person relatively quick. In fact, he never lost a battle ever since. He was I think he was set on avenging his father's death, and eventually he actually did. I think even killed a lord who killed his father. But truth of the matter is, he probably killed lots of people throughout his entire life. He won and defeated so many different swordsmen throughout his entire life. They say that it's in the hundreds, but there's definitely at least 62 very, very famous battles that he's been in. And I guess the most important thing to realize is that not only did early on in his life, he rejected the idea of using metal swords and started fighting with only wooden swords, but by the end of his life, he could be found in a cave at the top of a mountain, practicing calligraphy, making art, and writing a book that is now a philosophy book in Japan, one of Japan's most famous philosophy books, known as the Book of Five Rings. So when he was found in an upright position, dead, but with one hand on his sword, the other hand on a cane, looking all dignified, and the writings of the Book of Five Rings was written on the wall of the cave. So that's kind of an interesting story, right? That is a true story. That is an impossible story. I don't know if any of you know of any other wise men who lived at the top of a cave in a mountain, but Musashi might be the only one that I've ever even heard about. Comment below if you've heard of other wise men in caves at the top of a mountain. I know that there's got to be one in India somewhere. So please comment below. I'm very, very intrigued of your own personal knowledge of this subject. I'm Alain Nu. I'm the man who knows. If you like the kinds of things that I talk about, and in fact, if you want to know more about my showbiz part of my life, I actually deliver shows every Saturday here in Washington, D.C., and had performed about 130 shows when I headlined at Alexis Park in Las Vegas just recently, ending it last August. But we'll be back in Las Vegas before too long. In fact, I believe I'm going to be back on April 15th for a special television appearance. Stay tuned. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a bit. Meanwhile, enjoy the rest of your time on this Sunday. I'm Alain Nu. Subscribe to my newsletter on my webpage, themaniwhoknows.tv. We'll see you soon. Bye.